Hey guys, the Chicken is here. We are back today with another home gym video. In today's video, guys, I wanted to address some of the controversy that's been going around with Rogue and with Coop from Garage Gym Reviews. It's kind of different, but it's also kind of intertwined at the same time. So I felt like it would be a good video topic, especially because we've been, kind of talking on other like influencers and that kind of thing in the space. If you guys enjoy this style of video, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And yes, let's get into it. So first off, we've been seeing a lot of hate towards Rogue Fitness recently. Hate might be a little bit strong, but just kind of a negative. They've kind of flubbed their last couple releases, mainly the multi-grip bar, and they've come out with a few things that in the home gym community, it obviously hasn't been tailored towards us. It's been made more for commercial gyms, but at the same time, there's definitely the right balance of finding, obviously they're going to sell stuff for commercial gyms as well. It's not just for people that can afford this stuff, but even like I don't know, just like the last few things that they released, even like the stainless like pull down bar and things like that, they were just like really highly priced, and I feel like that kind of rubbed people the wrong way. So I wanted to talk about that for a sec. I think it's mainly it's not necessarily Rogue trying to gouge the customers, and obviously they bought out Go Strong. We did a video on that recently as well. I think everything that they do is amazing. I think it's just they're the biggest company, so they have to appeal to everybody, right? And when you do that, you're going to, when you make one group happy, you're going to make the other group unhappy, right? And I think it's really just comes down to being as simple as that. But at the same time, some of the stuff that they come out with, the prices have increased everywhere, and I don't think it's I don't think it's them trying to gouge the customer. I think it's just the way everything is right now. Things just with inflation and economy stuff and all those types of things. The prices just seem to be going even higher and higher. Like, I don't know how many times, I've seen videos where like people talking about home gym equipment, and it's like, buy all your shit like right now. Like, it's the best time, because it's just, I don't know when it's going to stop. And, we're seeing, I think some things, it's kind of weird. It's like some things are coming down. Other things are kind of staying at the same elevated price. And we're still waiting for, hopefully one day everything comes down, back down to earth. Because, for example, I bought most of my stuff right a couple months, maybe 2 or 3 months after the pandemic. And there was definitely, a surge in prices then, but nothing compared to what it was like now. Like, I basically saved money on almost everything that I have here, and that was only 2 years ago. If we look back 3 or 4 years, the cost of equipment was not even close to where it's at now. Sometimes, 25, 30% more now. So yeah, I don't think, and plus we've been seeing, I think Rogue has really blown up, through the pandemic and the gym equipment sales and all those types of things exploding. This is kind of where I wanted to tie it in with Mr. Coop. I think they've really blown up, and I feel like when that happens, people just naturally kind of, start to shit on the mainstream thing. I don't know why, it's just human nature. So I feel like that's definitely a part of it too. You see this a lot on like the home gym Reddit or the Discord. Maybe not so much the Discord, but definitely the Reddit. It's like, oh, like everyone goes like it's almost frowned upon to have Rogue equipment opposed to something else, because I don't know, Rogue is just like the mainstream, I guess, that everybody gets. And I love Rogue. Don't get me wrong, I love Rogue. Most of my stuff, my plates, my rack, it's all Rogue. And yeah, I think they are the best, equipment company out there right now. Obviously, they're probably the biggest, if not, maybe, I don't know, Alico or whoever does like collegiate stuff, Sornex, something like that, would be right up there as well. But I think for what they do, to be able to balance the commercial gym stuff and still have products available for, dummies like you and me out there that want to put the stuff in their house, I think it's a fine line, and I think they're the best at appealing to both types of things. So yeah, I think it's a little bit silly to hate on Rogue just for some products that come out that are overpriced, because at the same time there's a lot of little guys out there now, right? Like, if you want to get I use the example of I forget what it's called. It's like a pull down bar, something like that, pulley attachment, whatever you want to call it. Probably a bad example, because I mean that's a pretty premium cable attachment, and you could get those anywhere. Like, I got mine on Amazon for 20 bucks just because I didn't care what it was, and I just need it to hold on to, and I don't have a really nice cable machine or anything like that, so it's not worth getting a high-end attachment like that, like just for an example, for me in that instance. So if you want to go a different route for some of the other things, I think that makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of new guys, a lot of smaller companies coming up on the scene now, which is really cool to see. So let's transition a little bit into the Coop stuff. Now, again, Coop exploded with the pandemic, especially in the last like 2 or 3 years. And obviously we've seen like a huge change in him and the channel and everything like that. Obviously the biggest home gym YouTuber in the space, and it's just the same thing. It's kind of, I made this video on Mark Bell a few weeks ago, and it was kind of like the rise and fall, where it's like, I feel like everyone does that at some point. You know, they go from being the niche guy to the mainstream guy. And obviously that's the goal for everybody that's, you know, in the space, everybody that's on Instagram or whatever. You know, they want to become the fitness guru, like Liver King, for example, make millions of dollars. And but I think it was just, he's kind of made that transition now where he went from the niche, like home gym guy, where it's just about, you know, the best bang for your buck, doesn't mind to shit on certain companies. Now, you know, everything's sponsored, everything is like super high-end quality, or high-end production, and it just loses that kind of, I don't know, it loses that kind of feeling of someone you can relate to. I guess I think that's pretty well what it comes down to. You know, once you lose that on YouTube, then it's kind of, I don't know. And at the same time, I think it's the same thing as what we said before. Like, once something goes mainstream and everybody knows what it is, then it just becomes, you know, either not less popular, but it's just like fun to hate on it, I guess. So, you know, we've been seeing, I personally seen a lot of toxicity towards Coop, and I think it's kind of silly. You know, at the end of the day, the guy's got to do what's best for him, and he does put out the best gym equipment review content on YouTube. I don't think there's any, you know, denying that. There's no shade at Mr. Campbell or anything. But I think, you know, Coop's got a whole production team behind him. Hard to compete with that. So, yeah. And again, I think that was all part of the pandemic and those kinds of things where, you know, we saw this explosion in the home gym space, and he really blew up, and I don't care. You know, I think good for him. You know, do what you got to do. But yeah, I think it's kind of silly at the same time, where, you know, just to hate on something because it's doing well, essentially. And to shift back to Rogue, we talked before about how they bought out Ghost Strong. Here's a, like, you know, a really cool thing that they did was when they bought out Ghost, they're now re-releasing all the Ghost products at a cheaper price point. They easily could have just bought them and kept them at the same cost, and you know, taken in all those profits, because people still wanted Ghost stuff. But they didn't, because they have bigger manufacturing, so it's less expensive for them to make stuff, so they can sell it to cheaper. And, you know, I don't know, maybe they make more money doing it that way, I have no idea. But, you know, it's good to see that kind of stuff. So I think they're doing as well as they can, both of them. And, you know, I have no hate towards Coop or Rogue or anything like that. But I just want to talk about it because I see it all the time, like in the comments and things like that. And I feel like it's, you know, a little bit silly.